To the PHNX Tailgate, another beautiful weekend here in the Valley of the Sun, and we're presented by DraftKings. I can't speak today. We're presented by the DraftKings Sportsbook app, where if you just place $1 on any NFL team to score a single point, you will get $100 in free bets. Roll the intro.
Shane Diefenbach, Little Minds Preschool, Spelling Bee champion.
Johnny Venerable, Chittix Junior High School, Normal, Illinois.
Saul Bookman, Mare Elementary School. Go Wildcats.
That is the new one. Congratulations, Leah. You did it correctly. All right. Pitch the tent. Let's get it going. Just a bunch of stuff, including Leah on screen.
Leah.
I don't know what's going on. Oh, my gosh.
That looks good.
That's the first time we've seen Leah on the show.
Congratulations. All right. Yeah. There you go.
Oh, man. Welcome to the PHNX Tailgate, where first time is the every time. Here we go. Hey, listen, the college football playoff will start there.
Yeah.
It got a little more insane yesterday after a couple ass whoopings and a couple teams that absolutely crapped the bed. We'll go ahead and start off with one of those teams that crapped the bed. The Oregon Ducks absolutely got destroyed in Utah. Surprise or no surprise?
Well, Cincinnati got mommy's wish.
Stop. We're not talking about
Cincinnati. We're not talking about Cincinnati yet.
I'm trying to keep my breakfast down. Stop. Talking about an Oregon team that every year has it mapped out for them to get to the college football playoffs. Shane let me know before the show, actually had some good information, that the Pac-12 has not been in the college football playoff in 7 years. Yeah. And they're just since I'm guessing Oregon, right?
Was it Oregon or was it Washington?
It was Oregon.
Oh, that's true.
Was it Oregon?
It might have been Washington.
I thought it was Washington against Alabama, and they got absolutely.
I think it was Buda's team, Buda and Byron.
Yeah,
it was those. So it was Washington. Oregon.
Fuck you, Shane.
I feel like
Johnny goes, I think it was Oregon. I was like, yeah, I think it was Oregon too.
No, it was definitely Washington. I never said that. The Oregon Ducks. I lived in Eugene for 3 years. Okay, I'm an expert in Oregon Ducks football.
I drank coffee out of a mason jar.
I stood outside during Justin Herbert's pro day. Okay, so basically, what it comes down to is if you're the Pac-12 and their commissioner, you're crying into your pillow last night because for the 8th consecutive year, you were not going to be in the playoff. You were not relevant. Your blue blood programs like USC, UCLA, they're in the dumpster. Oregon was your one shining star. You put them up on a pedestal, and Utah that came from the Mountain West, right? That went into the Pac-12. It's a real program, right? And they shellacked Oregon in tune of over 20 points. No one saw this coming. I thought Oregon was destined to get in the playoff. I didn't think they were a great team by any means, but I wanted some diversity in the play. I wanted to see the Pac-12 represented, not getting in now.
I know that they beat Oregon, or they beat Ohio State, and everybody was really high on that. I just feel like if Oregon played Ohio State today, they'd get mollywopped.
Yeah, they'd get killed.
You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like that was a different Ohio State team at that time. Stroud kind of finding his place in his tempo and his
Ohio
rhythm.
State team.
He's looking better and better every single week, and I was not an Ohio State fan. I actually hate Ohio State, but they look like one of the better teams in the country for sure.
Yeah.
Well, the thing for me is, I mean, everybody obviously wants a Pac-12 team to be represented. Like if you went to a Pac-12 school, but it's kind of good that Utah beat them because they would have been embarrassed by whoever they played in the CFP, I believe. And credit to Utah and credit to Cameron Rising, who came in at the start of the year, not even supposed to be the starting quarterback after Utah's original quarterback quit on the team. Yeah. He's been incredible. And it's just a well-coached team. I've always liked these Utah teams. They have more talent this year. Usually there's a hard-nosed team with a good defensive front, and now they can score. It's a fun team to watch.
I'm not going to say this because I'm anti-ASU or anything like that. I know it's about to be rivalry week and I'm a Wildcat, but this is a legitimate question. Out of the three teams, and I'm about to name three teams in the Pac-12, who's the most disappointing? Is it Oregon? Is it ASU? Or is it Washington?
I would probably say Washington because preseason, we knew what ASU was and Oregon was. They were going to lose a couple games, right? I think the hope was out of conference they'd show you enough. And that Oregon game against Ohio State, most assume that they could lose a game in conference, still get in the Final Four. Washington, to me,
which would have been true,
right? That's a program that's completely fallen out of favor. We just talked about it. You have like high draft picks, NFL players in Budda Baker, Byron Murphy. They had a ton go in like a 3 to 5 year period. Now they're just completely irrelevant. That's a program, once upon a time that I thought could win a national championship. They lost their head coach. They're in disarray. To me, it's easily Washington.
Yeah, there's a lot of factors. I mean, Jimmy Lake obviously going, and the expectations were so high for both of these teams. But I think it's the Sun Devils just because of the things that are fixable before the season. I mean, you come in with your basically entire defense coming back. You have a quarterback that's been starting for 3 years for you. You have one of the best running backs in the nation, and then a really good one behind him in Chip Trainum. And false starts and penalties and discipline is what's plaguing you, and you can't get started on offense. And it might just be because of how close I am to this team, watching them every night in game and out. But it's just so hard to think of a different situation that this team could have ended up in with all of the things that they've gone through this year. It's so disappointing.
I just feel like with ASU, every year we could take the schedule out and they're like, okay, what 3 to 4 games are they going to lose?
Yeah.
Just randomly pick 3 or 4 games. They're going to be competitive, right? They're going to go to a nice bowl game. They're going to lose 3 to 4 games.
But those 3 to 4 games this year weren't very competitive. I mean,
the
Utah and BYU game, sure, a couple plays here and there, but I mean, the Washington State game, the game last night.
If you looked at their point differential, it's very disappointing.
It wasn't close.
Well, and that's the thing that kills me is and objectively speaking, taking my heart out of this, I still can't understand it. I just cannot understand how a team has this kind of talent and performs the way that they do. I just don't understand it at all. It's like they need the head coach, Coach Boone from Remember the Titans to come in and say, his little speech about.
But isn't that what Herm Edwards does every night to this team, or at least what you think? That's the thing that
you think that he does, but I don't know how much of an impact that has. You can only be you can only be a motivator for so long before ultimately you have to be a dick. You do
for sure.
At the college level with college athletes. There's a point where you're going to reach where listen, the message, for whatever reason, isn't getting through.
What I say is Herm Edwards would be a great life coach. I don't want him as my football coach.
Yeah, but here's the problem. Who are you going to get right now better than Herm Edwards when USC can't even find a capable head coach? Your program is not the Cinderella of the Pac-12 like some of these upper-tier programs.
It's different, though. It's different for ASU than it is for USC. USC expects to get a big, high-profile coach because that's the standard by which they set, right? ASU, while the fans might want it, that doesn't necessarily mean they need to have that. They could find a coach that is in like maybe Conference USA that's killing it, like maybe the Cincinnati coach, like that's right. I'm not saying like they're going to get the Cincinnati coach, but like a coach that's on the rise that has shown a lot with little that he's had.
Give me the Montana coach.
You know what I mean? So like there's just so many coaches out there.
That's a good point.
Whereas USC would not want to take a flyer on a coach from like Montana.
They have to get a star.
Yeah, exactly.
Before we get away from this, the one thing I keep going back to, I mentioned this on the show last night. There's so many. I find myself saying this so much about the ASU team. How is this happening? How are they like 3 times this year? They've had back-to-back false start penalties. They had one right after a timeout last night, and I think a couple months, maybe even a couple weeks down the road, some stuff's going to come out about the discourse in the coaching staff and something with the recruiting stuff, all the noise going on. And you're going to look back at some of these games and be like, oh,
what else it also boils down to, and I don't want to place all the blame on a kid.
Yeah.
Because they are still kids, right? Like I don't college athletes that are 18, 19, 20, 21 years old are just not the same as the normal college student that is in that, because the life experiences are drastically different. They're shielded from a lot of the stresses of life because of their college atmosphere.
Yeah.
So I still refer to them as kids because they're still growing, right?
But
Jaden Daniels needs to find that Tom Brady in himself and start hammering dudes.
Regression City.
Yeah. Well, he needs to start hammering dudes for making those stupid ass errors, because it's like every time they make an error, Nobody on the field is like pissed. It's just like, okay.
And that was his thing, is he's so relaxed and calm and cool. And that's
Gotta
all
find
good
it.
and fun when
Gotta
you're
find
winning
it.
or you're trying to lead a comeback. But yeah, when you're struggling, it's not a good thing to have. And I think he was really hurt by that first year, being so good and having not another step to go up. And now he doesn't really have anywhere to go. And I don't know if he became content, but after only throwing 3 interceptions your first 2 years and then coming out and throwing, I think 9 or 10 now. I mean, that
means you're pressing.
That does a lot to a kid, and I think a lot of the stuff is mental, even though he doesn't show it on the field.
Yeah.
Can we transition to
yeah, I got the transition right here. I was just waiting. Do you have anything else to add to ASU?
No, I don't. I don't.
Okay.
Please go ahead with your transition.
Well, I just wanted to transition because, we were talking about dumpster fires. And for Johnny personally, the dumpster fire that's happening right before his eyes is the Cincinnati Bearcats getting into the college motherfucking football playoff.
Mommy.
Nothing's done yet. Nothing's official. Nothing's done yet. Let's wait and see the rankings. I'm personally very high on Notre Dame.
They got to go to Eastern Carolina left, and then they got to play Houston in the
very losable game.
Conference.
Very losable game.
Jesus.
Listen,
they're getting in, Johnny.
I'm prepared for the inevitable. I don't want to see it happen. Shane and I were kind of troubleshooting what the spread would be with Georgia and Cincinnati. I said it would be close to 40 points.
Oh my god!
He wouldn't go that far.
No,
it's gonna be like 20.
I don't.
Whatever it is, it's not going to be high enough.
Look, they're not losing to Eastern Carolina.
Cincinnati has a bunch of future, guys that are going to be working an enterprise rental car.
Oh my gosh,
School Teachers of America.
Johnny.
Hey, congratulations on making the playoff. I'll get your tombstones ready because you were going to be beaten to hell against
Johnny. We got to place a bet on this if this happens.
No, it's fine. I'm ready.
If they get to the college football playoff, we are going to make a significant bet because Johnny is going to show his ass to the fucking city of Cincinnati when they fucking win.
Yeah. Huh? Oh yeah. The spread. Yeah.
I'm hammering.
See,
Georgia.
That's the problem. It's exactly Shane's point. The spread. Yes, because we all know
you don't know who they're going to play.
Premeditate. Oh, they're the 4 seed. They're the fucking 4 seed.
Listen,
if they
end up playing Ohio State, it's a different ball game.
No,
it is a different ball game because that's an in-state rival that refuses to play their in-state rival.
They're gonna. I like that angle. There's no way with Ohio State. Ohio State will be number 2. Bama will be number 3. We're gonna get Bama and Ohio State in the semifinal. We're going to get Georgia and Cincinnati.
If Bama loses to Auburn,
they're not going to lose to Auburn. We can play devil's advocate here. I'm not willing.
I'm looking for a way for Ohio State to play Cincinnati.
Right, I know.
All right, well, I think that's possible. What if Alabama loses to Georgia in the? They're
going to be the 3 seed.
You think Ohio so? State a 2-loss team would be the 3 seed?
No.
Yes.
I think Cincinnati goes to 3.
I think Cincinnati, and mostly the other thing is,
you know why they do that? Because they're holding Cincinnati's hand because they know if they play Georgia in the first round, it will be soul crushing for that program.
You just had a team already lose to Georgia. Why would you give them an out and not put them against Georgia again if you thought they were good enough to be in the playoff as a 2-loss team? That makes no sense.
I think that it's all about protecting Cincinnati if they let them in.
No, they're not protecting Cincinnati because they kept them out of the fucking CFP in the first place.
They don't want them in the CFP, just like I don't.
Why do you hate the small schools?
Because not the small schools per se. I have respect for, once upon a time, the Mountain West. Clearly, we see teams elevate to other conferences. We just talked about Utah, right? Their conference and the teams that they play are never going to compete for national championships. And you beat up on those teams. And here's the argument that I make: the fact that they beat Notre Dame, and despite of that, I think that they got up for that game. That's the one game they have to get up for. If you're a Notre Dame or a Bama or a Georgia or Ohio State, you get everybody's best shot every week. And you've got to play a real schedule. And you don't have the benefit of resting guys for a half like this fraudulent Cincinnati team does. They got up for Notre Dame. I'll give them credit for that win. But then they get to go play Panera Bread the rest of the year. Panera Bread University, right? Enterprise Rent-A-Car University. And they can sit guys for 2 quarters, right? And everybody can get healthy, right? Notre Dame, teams that are fighting, scratching and clawing every week can't do that.
Well, I'm sorry. Who the fuck did Georgia play yesterday in their warm-up game before they play 3-8 Georgia Tech?
That's like the one cupcake they have. That's like every game for Cincinnati. It makes me physically ill to the point where I want to throw up all over myself.
Johnny, this is why they have the 14 playoff. If they get in, and they will get in unless something crazy happens. If they get in,
I don't disagree. They're going to get in.
Okay, but if they get in, then you can bitch. After they get killed, then you can bitch. Just wait to see what happens. Wait to see what happens.
Johnny's not feeling very well.
We're gonna. I don't. I feel sick.
Do you want to do this transition, or do you want me to do the transition?
No, because I brought it up this morning. I saw some footage last night that is some of the greatest footage in the history of Twitter. It encapsulates my feelings right now about Cincinnati being in the college football playoff. Leah, roll the tape. Kings hosting the Utah Jazz. My man courtside barfing all over himself.
He's just yakking everywhere. It's all underneath him right now. Nobody really notices, and then he yaks again right there. Everybody just
get the
so
towels
disgusted.
in there.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
And the guy's just sitting there the whole time. He doesn't even move.
He's not like, oh, sorry guys, I'll get up. I've got it on my pants. He's got it on his pants, on the brim of the seat.
Oh God, I would yak so hard.
No,
he's still going. Like Luke Walton's like, dude, somebody get this smell out of here. This is ridiculous.
My wife's trying to tell me last night he had food poisoning. Dude was shit-faced out of his mind.
Yep.
The correct play in this scenario, if you're going to get sick, he's got his hat on. You put the hat over your face and you run out. Dude felt so confident in himself to just barf on national TV.
Oh my God, watch this guy stumble out of here too. Like everybody's cheering. His buddy in front of him's got to be like the most embarrassed guy in the world. He's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I brought Ted to the game. All over the court.
That's like when I go places with Shane. Look at that bar. Look at the barf all over his like midsection.
Oh God.
Oh, and he's like leaning into his buddy.
Oh, he can barely walk. You know that walk where you got to focus on every step.
Oh yeah.
That's some of the best footage.
Oh,
I
man.
can't watch that.
That's
enough.
how Johnny feels about Cincinnati.
Jake said if Cincinnati wins, Johnny has to eat his shoe.
I'll do something. We can do. Win what? What are they winning? They're winning their shitty conference championship. Hooray! Hooray!
Win a game in the
won our little
CFP.
shitty conference.
If they win a game in the CFP,
Jesus Christ! You can take my kids' Roth IRAs. We can put them on the line. They're not. The fat.
I'll take Frankie.
No, you won't get any money.
Listen,
bottom line is
we'll come up with something clever.
It'll be the spread. It will not be because you can't give me big enough odds for if they win a game in the playoff.
Yeah.
Oh, holy hell.
Yes.
Like outright win, like the money line bet. Like DraftKings, see what our friends at DraftKings put on that game. Whomever they play, Ohio State, Georgia, Alabama.
If it's Ohio State, I'm calling it right now. They will pull off the upset and they will beat
Ohio State's so hot right now.
I don't care. I don't care about that.
It's garbage.
I don't care. I love Cincinnati that much. I think they're capable of being Ohio State.
We made it! Hooray! Look at us!
Shut up,
CJ
Johnny.
Stroud, 6 CDs yesterday. Will embarrass Cincinnati. Oh my God! Can't wait for it.
They embarrassed Michigan State, but Michigan State's frauds too.
Mel Tucker, love you, bro. Spent all week negotiating your big deal. Go get your money. Just threw the game plan out the window this week. Didn't give a fuck. They gave my
guy a 10-year, $93 million contract,
Mel.
and then they proceeded to shit the bed.
It's like, whatever.
Oh, my
Sorry,
gosh.
guys.
Took
Got
that
my
shit
money.
all the way to the bank. Talk about frauds. We have a bunch of teams.
Sorry.
Oh, damn. Oh, wow.
Man.
Oh, hey.
Aggressive.
Shane woke up.
I thought we were transitioning to surveys that says so.
We were no, not even a little bit. Believer or deceiver? We're talking about some NFL teams. Guys, I'm going to challenge you. Pick 2 of these teams that you believe will make it to the playoffs and maybe make some noise. I'll start with you, Shane.
Man, this is hard. It just depends on the games today. So many of these teams have good games today. Like I'm not going to pick
not to win today, to make it to the playoffs.
I know. I'm saying, but if they win today, then I have confidence in them. Like the Panthers, if Cam Newton leads them to a victory, I have confidence in them. The Vikings, if they play the Packers well, I have confidence in them. But I don't have confidence in those teams. So I'm taking I think the Chargers pick it up, and I think the Browns pick it up.
So you Chargers and Browns.
Chargers and Browns are the 2 teams that I believe.
All right. How about you, Johnny?
Here are the 2 teams that are making a run that I think before the season, a lot of people thought these 2 teams were, I think, almost playoff locks. Indianapolis is playing some of the best football of anybody in the AFC right now. They're back from the dead. They started, I think, like 2-5, and they're 5-5 right now. I think they win today. that Cardinal game on Christmas Day is going to be difficult, especially if they're playing as well as they are now. So they're getting in, and I just think Minnesota, like, they have so much talent. If they can just get their shit together. I like Mike Zimmer. I know a lot of people dog on him. I just want them to make a little bit of a run so the San Franciscos of the world don't have life. That game in a couple weeks is going to be huge. But, like, you just think, Dalvin Cook, Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson. I mean, like,
Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins is having a sneaky good year. Their defense isn't that good. Pat P's back off the IR this week. We'll see if that helps. I like Minnesota and Indy.
I always laugh every time somebody mentions Pat P as a difference maker.
You think the Colts are going to win outright in Buffalo today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you're both wrong. Not even close. I don't know why people believe in Cleveland anymore.
I don't.
It's like they're so but you just pick Minnesota, which is like the Cleveland of the fucking NFC.
Minnesota,
they're always right there, and then they play a team like the Packers, and they're like, it's like a big game. It's in a pivotal point of their season, and they always get shut the fuck out. Like, they're terrible. They're awful. They kick themselves in the balls every single game.
Better recent history than anything the Browns have done.
Oh,
Baker
God.
can't even move.
So they're just both a bunch of frauds. I like the Chargers. I just believe that out of this entire group, Justin Herbert's probably the best quarterback left. And then I'm going with the second best quarterback in Cincinnati because I've been on that Cincinnati train all season long. I think Joe Burrow will find a way to put it back together. Those are the two teams that I have.
The Bengals are playing some of the worst football I've ever seen.
They are, but they're going to regroup. I have faith in their regroup.
I could see it.
No, I don't think so. I don't see it.
There you go.
Their defense just needs to wake up, but I can see it.
People in the chat. I'm not going to eat human hair.
Why are people wanting Johnny to eat something? Why?
We'll put terms on when and if.
How about something hot,
in.
like a ghost pepper?
I'm going to go eat hot wings after this, and I'm going to get mocked by the waitress.
She's going to ask you if you're okay with those hot ones, and you're going to be like, Mommy,
I'm
no.
going to be like, yeah, honey, come check this out. And then she's going to be, and she's going to be like, ooh, who's this big strong man here? And I'm going to be like, hey, everybody, it's me.
Hello? Yeah, Johnny, it's your wife. I don't know why she has my number.
No one dogs on me more than my wife. You guys will see that Tuesday.
Did you call yourself a big strong man?
I am a big strong man.
Those were two false descriptors of you in one sentence.
When we went to Zips a couple weeks ago, we crossed the street from our studio, and I tried to order some hot wings. I got pushback from the waitress. I ate them anyway, and she came over. Like, she looked like she wanted to rub my back and like support. And
Johnny, your eyes were watering.
It was bad. I went to
she came back. She came back to.
Wait, you got the hot wings, and she said they're pretty hot, and you said give it to me anyway.
She goes, I would get the medium if I was you.
The medium is so weak.
Judging me on my appearance, probably thought Shane was my dad, and I was in high school, father son, watching some NFL football.
She came back and she was like, "How are the wings?" And Johnny was like, "Good."
They're great. They're feeling really good.
He was like, "They're good." And then the second she's like out of earshot, he goes,
I'm like, Shane, give me your fucking water.
Oh, man.
Oh, my gosh. Well, we don't have any water for you today.
No.
But we do have Cerveza says Cerveza. Survey says Cervezas, I should say. Where our producer, as you saw earlier in the show, she is alive, is going to ask us some trivia questions or some random nothings. There we go.
Random nothings. That should be the name of the segment.
Random nothings.
All right. So Thanksgiving is on Thursday. So we're going to do Thanksgiving theme questioning today and a little game of this or that, Thanksgiving edition. And I would like to hear your reasonings behind your decisions for each one. So starting off, first question, this or that, apple pie or pumpkin pie?
Oh, fucking gross.
Easy pumpkin pie.
Apple pie.
Easy pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin pie is the
Saul, don't you dare. I could eat a whole pumpkin pie in one sitting. Get a little.
This is the asshole of the pie world.
Get a little bit of whipped cream on here going.
It has to be a good pumpkin pie. Store-bought pumpkin pies are absolute garbo. They're terrible.
What about Costco?
Does your mom make a good pumpkin pie?
My mom doesn't make pumpkin pie. My mom stopped making food for me a while ago. She wants me to leave.
Hey, get the fucking hit and get out.
She also started to lock me in my room too. So, does she want me to leave the house or not? I don't get it.
Oh my gosh! I literally just watched a show about that stuff the other day about the Turpin sisters. Yeah, we won't joke about locking.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Kids up in rooms.
All right, next one.
All right.
All right. Next up, Mashed potatoes or sweet potatoes?
Ooh. Sweet potatoes with the marshmallows.
Yeah, and the brown sugar. Yep,
yeah.
Absolutely for the win. There you go.
I don't dislike mashed potatoes either, but
I love mashed potatoes.
That's my preference.
Sweet mashed potatoes for the win. Mashed potatoes.
Shane.
What, Johnny?
Are you bringing anything to our?
I'm bringing mashed potatoes
on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Are you making them?
When you walk in the door, you got to scream mashed potatoes.
Okay.
All right. There you go.
I don't understand. Okay.
It's a Tiger reference. You ever heard him?
Mm-mm.
Like when
he swings,
when
mashed potatoes.
You scream mashed potatoes.
No.
All right. Next one.
All right. Dinner or leftovers?
Ooh.
Dinner's always messy.
Why is dinner always messy?
If you're with if it's a huge group of your family, like I can eat Thanksgiving leftovers in the dark in my room. I have to eat Thanksgiving dinner around people.
You over to the corner like a rat?
Yeah.
I don't want to come to your house.
Oh, Bird Gang Travel. Go somewhere else with that BS.
This is a cold take. I do not.
That is an
Bird Gang
take.
Travel's pissed. They're in Seattle. He wanted to watch Kyler Murray play, and now he's just dogging on Thanksgiving food. Don't lash out at us, my friend.
Yep.
This is a safe space, right?
Is it? No, it's not.
Maybe not for you, but for the rest of us, it is. No, I would say you get the best version of Thanksgiving when you go into the food for the first time.
Yeah.
Reheat it is like 75%.
Yeah.
Right. It's like watching Cincinnati play football. It's the afterthought, right? It's not the main course. It's not the SEC. It's not the Big Ten. It's whatever the hell they're. I don't even know what their conference. What's their conference called? AAC, American Family Conference, the American Family Insurance Conference.
You couldn't even think of another.
I can't.
I will say yes, the same thing. Fresh. I don't want the leftovers. I'm not a big leftovers guy anyway. So, yeah, there you go.
All right, next up, Black Friday or Cyber Monday?
Oh, Cyber Monday by a mile.
Yeah, again, that's the people thing for me. Stay in my room, turn the lights off.
In this day and age of COVID and stuff like that, yeah, keep my ass at home. I'd rather just shop online. I'm good.
Did you guys ever work Black Friday?
Yes,
I did too.
I used to work at Best Buy. Actually, 6 years ago, I worked at Best Buy, and yeah, that was awful.
I worked in college at Circuit City 6 months before they went bankrupt.
How old are you?
I'm old. I'm 33.
Oh my
So
goodness.
the Black Friday before they went out of business, we were in the back and they tried to rally the troops. They wheeled a TV out with the two owners of Circuit City. It was like the two old guys from the Muppets trying to rally the troops. Like, come on, guys, this is our moment.
They saw their future on the line. That's why.
And I'm like, you fuckers, nothing's happening for you. You're getting. And so we went out there, and nobody sold anything. We were so grossly overpriced, and yeah, I just stopped coming in after that.
You just quit that day, huh?
Yeah, well, like shortly after that, when they started selling off parts of the store, like our chairs and stuff, because they just the whole place got liquidated.
Oh man, R.I.P. Circuit City.
Yeah.
You got any more for us?
Yes, I do.
All right.
Host or guest?
Guest.
All right. Easy.
Yeah, that was easy.
Wait,
Johnny
Johnny?
didn't answer, I guess.
I don't mind hosting, depending on who the people are.
Johnny, first of all, you're full of shit because nobody's going all the way out to Maricopa.
Yeah.
That's mean. I'll have all of you over to my house. Now I won't because now that's hurtful.
Do you have a pool?
It's being dug right now. It's not finished yet. It'll be finished in March.
All right, well, call me in March.
Sweet guys. You want to come over for me? Just come over and hang out with me?
No,
not at all.
Maricopa's not that far. It's only like 45 minutes.
With no traffic on a Sunday.
No.
Oh, man. Oh, I feel you because I live just almost as far.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Next, mac and cheese or stuffing?
Stuffing.
Wow.
I would mainline stuffing. I love stuffing so much. It is so
good. What does
good.
mainline mean?
Inject that shit into my veins.
Gosh, that's what they call it? What is wrong with you, druggie?
How do you not know the term mainlining?
James hit his vape before the show, and I'm like, oh, that's just a kid thing. Now he's talking about injecting stuffing into his veins, and I'm like, dude, we got people we can help you through our benefits.
Mainline.
Oh
my gosh.
All right. Moving on.
Injecting
last
stuffing.
question.
Mainline.
Dinner time meal or a midday meal?
Midday because football's on, the early slate of games, easy.
Yeah.
You're not too full to drink after at night.
Yeah. Dinner's usually for nibbling on a couple things and maybe having, a nice bottle of alcohol next to you, playing dominoes, spades. That's how I roll.
Nice.
All right, that was it, everyone.
Do you know
Thanks
what
for
dominoes
playing.
and spades are?
I know
what
dominoes
spades.
is.
I know what spades is.
All right.
All right, that's it. Thanks
All
for
right.
playing.
Thank you,
Hey,
Leah.
all right. Thanks, Leah. That was pretty good. That was pretty fun. We actually got into a heated argument on the Sun show about pumpkin pie, which we are going to recirculate on tomorrow's show for those of you who want to join us, because we're going to talk about 5 best foods for Thanksgiving. So, all right, tap that app. Props, locks, and drops. Pretty simple. We all pick a prop, we all pick a lock, and we all pick a drop that we hate or love. So we'll go ahead and start with you, Johnny. Props,
Props.
locks, and drops.
I got it this week.
Okay, all right.
Sorry.
Let's go props.
Props. Justin Fields over 1.5. Shut up. Over 1.5 passing touchdowns.
Passing?
Plus 190 on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Listen, Justin looked phenomenal against the Steelers on a short week now. I think he plays really well. To me, he's getting better every week. Mooney is a star. They've kind of phased out Allen Robinson. The future is bright for whomever gets that job, because I think they got to fire their head coach and GM. But Justin Fields, to me, he's worked through his initial struggles as a rookie, and now he's got a couple. Baltimore secondary is not great, and they're at home, right? I think Lamar Jackson's not playing, so you think extra possessions for him to throw this touchdown. 2 TDs is easy. I think he plus 190. I love that.
Yeah, I actually do like that, especially with how hobbled and just broken this Ravens team is in general
absolutely.
right now. I like that. Mine, I'm just riding Browns. I'm tripling down on the Browns. So my prop, David Njoku, his over/under for receiving yards is set at 19.5 today. Really low. Against a Detroit Lions team that is just not very good. Did you say he'll have 15?
15 yards.
Okay, I think he goes over that mark pretty easily. I think he scores today as well. So give me David Njoku over 20.
Well, the DraftKings Sportsbook app has a boost, a Gary V boost. He's a big Jets fan, so they always give him a boost every week for a useless Jets game. So it's plus 115 for a 40-yard touchdown or more. And for that very reason, I picked Jalen Waddle from the Dolphins to score a 40-plus yard touchdown today against the Jets. The Jets secondary has not been bad. The Jets defense has not been awful. But I do believe that that's going to happen today. And if there's anybody that's going to do it, it will be Jalen Waddle. Also, since we're going the tight end route, I figured I would go ahead and throw in that same Ravens Ravens Bears game. I have Mark Andrews scoring the first touchdown of the game at plus 750.
Like it.
That's a prop. I like it. Tyler Huntley's going to be the quarterback today. He's going to look to check down. He's going to look for the safety outlet, and the best safety outlet in the league is Mark Andrews. So
the only concern I have with the Waddle pick is, can Tua throw it 40 yards in the air? I don't know if he can.
Doesn't matter if it's
Jalen Waddle's pretty good after the catch too.
Yeah, that's all you need. You know, it could be a screen pass for all I care.
There you go. Yeah. Okay. So my lock of the week, I like Philadelphia -3 hosting the Saints. The Saints that are starting Trevor Siemian. They're missing their left tackle. Kamara's not going to play. I don't know how this number hasn't exploded. Jalen Hurts is playing some of the best football in the NFL. They play exceptionally well at home. I don't love Nick Sirianni, their head coach, but I do think that every week that we try to just dispel Jalen Hurts as a starter, we don't think he's any good. I've always been a big fan. Listen, he's in his second year. He was a second-round pick for a reason. He needs time. He needs reps. Devontae Smith is a godsend. He's playing better than Jalen Waddle. Should have been taken higher because he was the better college player, and I thought he projected just as well in the NFL. So I think Philadelphia wins handedly today. Hammer that -3. Swallow those points. I could see a double-digit loss.
Yeah, and Miles Sanders is going to give it a go for the first time in a couple weeks, too. I like that.
And Dallas Goedert just got an extension. A lot of good things going on with
I like that pick. The only thing that scares me is a sneaky backdoor cover like they did against the Titans last week. They're just a weird team in the fourth quarter.
They are. That's fair.
You know what I'm doing. It was the Deef and Lock. I did it on the bet show.
Don't.
Give me the Browns -12.5 at home against the Lions.
I think
it's at
money line.
I think it's at 13 now. I'm still taking it. Look, I explained this on the bet show. I explained this on our Instagram. Teams that get blown out the week after they get blown out and they're playing, especially when they're playing a bad team, want to prove something. They lost 45-7 last week against the Patriots. They get Chubb back. They're the best rushing offense in the NFL still. Freaking no Jared Goff, and I kind of wanted Jared Goff to start because at least you know what you're getting from Jared Goff. You get Tim Boyle in, who has one of the worst college stats I've ever seen. And I just don't see a way the Browns don't win by 2 touchdowns today. And I know you guys hate it, but I don't give a shit.
Absolutely hate it. I especially hate the reasoning because they were so shitty last week. They're all of a sudden not going to be shitty this week. The Falcons were shitty last week, and they were even shittier this week.
The Browns are way better than the Falcons.
Are they, though?
Yes, they are.
Like, 100%. They're like 1 win better.
They get shoved back. That's the only reason I'm not.
The Browns are frauds.
They are.
Cleveland is a city of frauds.
Losers.
Like
Losers.
Ohio, frauds.
LeBron left you twice.
Except for Cincinnati, because I love Cincinnati.
And Ohio State?
Yeah, I hate Ohio State.
Ohio State could probably beat Cleveland right now, straight up. The Browns. Remember when those were like the arguments they'd have? Like
the only reason
beat the worst team in the NFL.
The only reason why Saul is yelling right now is because he's been heartbroken by the Falcons before, and he has this trust issue thing, and he doesn't want it to fall upon me.
No. The Browns are awful. The Browns are always inconsistent.
Did you see how they're inactive too? Donovan Peoples-Jones is out.
I can't wait for the Browns to lose by double digits today, just so I can rub it in your face.
You guys are delusional. Go for it.
All right.
What's yours?
Dutch Mamba says Texas money line over the Texans. I like it. There you go.
Well,
I have the Jags covering the spread in Jacksonville. I actually have them winning today against the 49ers. And then my prop that you'll want to go to, I actually have this as a parlay. So I have the Jags covering the spread. I have Trevor Lawrence over 194.5 yards passing, and I have them as the first team to 20 points. So I think that's going to happen today. I'm a big believer in the Jags of late. They played good football of late. They beat the Bills just a couple weeks ago. I like the Jags at home against the 49ers.
I like that, except I don't know if either team's going to get to 20 points today in that game. I think it's going to be gross.
Well, Elijah Mitchell's out.
Yeah.
Jeff Wilson, they're trotting him out there at running back, that being San Francisco. My only concern is the passing game with Jimmy G's looked better, but I think Trevor Lawrence could have a field day against the secondary for San Francisco. I think they could match them score for score. I like that pick a lot.
Yeah.
My drop today, listen, everybody's slobbering over Cam Newton. I'm not a fan. That was smoke and mirrors last week. They're going to start him. He's going to get exposed. He can't throw. And I think Ron Rivera, if anybody's going to know how to neutralize him, I don't like Carolina -3.5, Washington +3.5 either way. I don't have a good feeling about that game. It's one of the grossest games of the weekend. Washington looked good against Tampa last week. I think it could be a comeback down to earth game for both teams. So I would just stay away from that line.
That isn't me. I don't have my phone on me.
Cowboys money line over the Chiefs.
So this is actually my drop because if the Chiefs play the way they played,
that's not you.
No, it's a person. It's Dutch Mamba who changed their name. It's the same profile picture.
I gotcha. Okay.
Look, if the Chiefs play the way they played last week, they run away with this game. But I don't mind Cowboys money line strictly because you know what you're getting from the Cowboys. You don't know what you're getting from the Chiefs. That's why this is my drop. You just don't know what's going to happen in this game. So I'm staying away from that.
I'm staying away from Indy against the Bills.
Yeah, that was my other one.
You know, Indy's playing really good football. Yep. The Bills, kind of inconsistent. We've seen them have huge wins where they dominate like the Texans by like 50 points, and then they lose to the Jags when nobody scores a touchdown. Like, I don't know what it is about this team, and I don't know what it is about Josh Allen that every time he has a good game, everybody wants to give him the MVP, and every time he has a bad game, he's not even in the top 10 of MVP voting. It's just the stupidest thing with that Bills team. So I actually like Indy to cover the spread in this game, but I'm not 1,000,000% confident about it. The Bills are at home. That also is a factor. So I would just stay away from this game altogether.
This is what confuses me so much about not only Josh Allen, but the whole Buffalo team. You have the stats that we're showing last year with Cole Beasley and Stephon Diggs are ridiculous. Cole Beasley was the #1 receiver against zone in the NFL, and Stephon Diggs was the #1 receiver against man. So you can't play either against this team. Why is the offense not working? Is it because the running game is just non-existent with Devin Singletary and Zach Moss? It doesn't make sense. I don't understand what this Bills offense is all about because they should be a firecracker.
Brian Daboll is having a regression year.
Yeah.
You just can't argue anything outside of that. He read all of his press clippings from last year that he was going to be the top candidate for any NFL opening. He started smelling all of his own farts, and so now I think that, to me, they are just waiting until the playoffs where they can get another shot at Kansas City. They're going through the motions because they feel like last year had a phenomenal regular season. It didn't matter because they got shellacked by the Chiefs in the playoffs. They loaded up this year to beat one team in the AFC, and that's Kansas City. Their pass rush is really good. Their offense will get it together. I wouldn't be worried about the Bills. I still think they lose this week, but I don't think it matters in the grand scheme of things.
Well, that was Tap That app, DraftKings Sportsbook app. Please use it. It's great. It's phenomenal. It's user intuitive. You'll like it. So, and if you haven't used it, download it now. Use promo code PHNX. Bet $1 on either team to score and win $100 in free bets. If they score, you score with promo code PHNX this week at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Reminder, 21 and over, Arizona only, gambling problem, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. New customers only, eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. And now we're in the home stretch as we go to pitch or get off the lawn. My bad. Pitch the tent's way bad beginning. Get off my lawn, presented by our friends over at Burgang Travel. As a reminder, we have a huge block party going on for the December 13th matchup with the Rams. It's a block party. It's not a tailgate. It's a block MF party. It's going to be fun.
Mother effing.
Stage, DJ, giveaways. You'll be able to meet some Cards alumni. The whole 9 yards. Please, please, please come check it out.
I'll be there.
Tickets right now, you can go to burgangtravel.com. And you'll be able to buy your tickets in advance. A reminder, you want to buy your tickets early. You don't want to wait too late. So if you're thinking, oh, hey, I want to buy these, maybe at the gate, you're probably going to spend an extra 20, 30 bones, just so you know. So you want to get those tickets as soon as possible. It's been a great seller so far. I think we're almost at half capacity. We're expecting at least 500 people there. It's going to be phenomenal. We'll be there.
Yep.
Frank will be there. Cheerston will be there. The whole 9 yards. So it'll be fun.
I'm stoked.
Also, as a reminder, my guy Johnny's going to Chicago here in a couple weeks. And he's going to check out the tailgate that Burgang Travel's putting on out there in Chicago and in Dallas. They will also have all that cool stuff on their website at burgangtravel.com. So check that out, please. It'll be awesome.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a live shot from their tailgate.
Oh, we will.
Yeah, from the PHNX tailgate here into the tailgate with Burgang Travel in Chi-Town, my hometown. Let's talk about the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah,
today.
Let's talk about the Arizona Cardinals and not your hometown.
I'm going to be.
Nobody cares where you're from.
All right, shut up. I'm going to be transparent with everybody on this panel right now. I was confident Kyler Murray was going to play today. And news broke last night that Seattle today, it's going to be Colt McCoy, more than likely. Shane can attest to this. After that news broke, I immediately went to the DraftKings Sportsbook app, and I put $150 on the Seahawk money line.
Oh my goodness!
It's a reverse jinx tactic. I want the Cardinals to win.
You're emotionally hedging.
I am. I don't think the Cardinals can win this game with Colt McCoy. I agree with you, Saul. You think Colt's going to play a little bit better today? That's fine. Seattle's playing for their season. This is to me less about the Cardinals, more about Seattle. Seattle looked like trash last week, but it was a snow game. Russell Wilson's first game back from an injured finger.
He's never won at Lambeau. Hasn't even been close.
Yeah, I just think you get them backs against the wall. Colt McCoy, I love you, Colt. You came in and did your job against San Francisco. That's all we really should have asked of you. This whole Kyler Murray thing, I mean, if it's weighing on us, fandom, media, it's weighing on the team. And they're dejected. And they look dejected against Carolina because they don't have their leader. Not to mention, you can make an argument your best two players on your teams are number 1 and number 10, and they're out for the third consecutive week. It's just too much. Seattle's defense is playing better than people think. Cardinals defense looked like garbage last week. I can't explain it. Traveling this week against Seattle, the only optimism I have is every time this year, and I said this with Michaela earlier this week, every time this year I feel like this team is going to lose. It's premeditated. The Cleveland game where we were giving them excuses, the San Francisco game, they come out and they play really well and they win the game. And so this is the most down on them that I've been since a lot of those occurrences where they've shown me that they can capitalize. I want to believe, but I just don't. I don't think they can win today.
I think it's going to be closer than people think without Kyler Murray. But the thing I always go to when there's games like this, especially division games, if I can't decide between a team, you pick the more desperate team. Yeah. Seattle needs this
Cardinals
game.
Cardinals aren't desperate. They're just sitting players.
Yep. They need this game. So that's why I think the Seahawks win.
When you go to Seattle, in its nature, you understand that Seattle is not an easy place to play. You understand that it's loud. You understand communication is going to be an issue. You understand that is one of the more fiercest places to play in the NFL. The Cardinals have gotten up for Seattle seemingly every time in the last 5 to 6 years.
True.
They've won on the road plenty of times at Seattle because they get excited about playing in an environment like that. I think they feed off of that. And I think today will be no different. I think this will be a game where, largely like the San Francisco game, Cole McCoy will bounce back. I think Cliff will call a much better game than he did last game. It's hard to believe he could coach a worse game than he did last game.
That's true.
And so I just don't. I don't feed into the desperation hype. I understand what you guys are saying, but again, this team doesn't have a winning record for a reason. It's because they fucking suck. And the mystique of Seattle is what's purveying over here right now, and Russell Wilson. And I get it, but I just don't think that the Cardinals are in that place anymore. And I think they're going to narrowly win this game.
I get what you're saying. The Russell Wilson thing, though, his record after a loss, and not only a loss, but a bad loss by double digits, is incredible. It's like 80%. And that's because the teams have been better in the past. Yes, they're definitely not as good. I just think Russell Wilson wills this team to win. The better quarterback's going to win today.
So let's talk about what it would take for the Cardinals to win this game. I think that your defense has got to play lights out. It's got to play its best defensive game of the year. You need multiple turnovers. You maybe need a defensive touchdown. And then on the offensive side, James Conner should go to the Pro Bowl this year. I think he's going to be in the running for Offensive Player of the Year because of you get 20-plus touchdowns. I mean, you're in that conversation.
Yeah.
I would give him I'm hesitant because of his injury concerns in the past. I wrote an article, gophnx.com, about how he's been a revelation for this team. Everybody, including myself, Travis Etienne, Najee Harris, we wanted all these young backs, and then they signed this guy for $1.7 million, and he's been fantastic. I would give him 30 touches today and let the chips fall where they may. You need to put together conservative drives, 4-5 yards a carry. You can't go for the big explosive plays. I'm having fucking flashbacks last week of Colt McCoy on the run throwing across his body interceptions. Can't do that today. No. You got to be conservative with your game plan, and I think it starts with number 6.
I think the problem last week was that they were conservative with their game plan. Like Colt McCoy throwing across his body over the middle of the field is just a bad throw. That's a bad decision by a veteran quarterback. I don't think that's really on Cliff on that one. But they didn't throw the ball deep at all last game. Yeah. So they didn't extend the defense. You got speedsters like Rondale Moore and Christian Kirk that you didn't even take the top off the defense for. So the Panthers were all playing close to the line. That shit, at one point they had 10 guys in the box. Like, okay, at some point you got to do something to spread them out and take advantage of some weaknesses out there. And they just didn't do that. And you have Zach Ertz, who's largely been kind of absent the last couple of games. And you need to see more from this team. That's why I think Cliff is going to have a bounce back game. And that's why I think Colt McCoy, listen, if my man can't throw the ball more than 30 yards, then we have a major issue. And with that pec strain, I don't know how he's going to feel. I assume since he's playing that he's okay.
Just say it out loud. The Cardinals are going to Seattle with a compromised Colt McCoy who may or may not can't throw the ball, and they're playing a Seahawks team with Russell Wilson. To me, like, I know the rosters aren't comparable. Cardinals have a better 53-man than Seattle. But it just there's so much stacked up against this team. You can make an argument Cliff wins this game. Just end Coach of the Year debate.
I did the only part I disagree with you is they need multiple turnovers to win this game. They just need to shut down the passing game, and that seems like a lot because Chris Carson's gone. Yeah. Alex Collins is an okay substitute for that Seahawks backfield, but I don't think they need turnovers to win this game. The Seahawks offense isn't what it's used to be, and you can get points fast. I mean, they're going to come out playing their 3 high, and their secondary is still not very good. Yes, they're playing better, and they always seem to figure it out later in the year, but I don't know.
Listen, if the Cardinals win today, they win the NFC as the number 1 seed. They will find a way to do that because I think that this win will propel them basically to health from this point forward.
Yes.
At least for the last 6 games of the season. You're going to have a healthy D-Hop come back. You're going to have a healthy Kyler. Sorry, I was going to say Kyler McCoy.
That'd be awesome.
Kyler Murray.
Merge him.
And everybody else can feel good, kind of recuperate, take a week off, and refresh, and then the Cardinals will be ready to go with 6 games left
into their bye week, getting a huge win into their bye week.
Yes,
it would be massive.
It'd be huge.
Oh God. We're setting ourselves up for disappointment. I want to believe. I want them to win.
All we're saying is it would be big.
Well, yeah,
that's all we're saying.
It just, to me, what I witnessed in person last week was a team that played a bad Carolina team at home and quit because they felt like they had no shot to win with the guy they were starting at quarterback.
Listen, Colt McCoy is going to play his best game as a Cardinal today.
I think he already played that
because he knows
we already emptied that chamber
for real. Like I think he knows that this is probably his last start in the NFL.
He already beat the Seahawks once with the Giants.
Yeah, with the Giants
last year. Yeah,
with the Giants.
And you know how the Giants won that game with a pass rush. So Chandler Jones, 55. Where you at, man?
Nah, I'm done calling out Chandler Jones because he's basically worthless.
We're talking about Colt McCoy's last game potentially as a starting quarterback. Are we watching the final games of Chandler Jones with the Cardinals?
Maybe
I think we might be.
So.
Maybe they can sign his brother. He's doing some other weird stuff. He just got an extension for some pro wrestling thing instead of going back to the UFC.
Bones Jones?
Yeah, maybe John Jones can come in and play some D-end.
All right, Bird Gang Travel, go away. Go drink a latte by the freaking sea or something, wherever you're at. The sound.
Yeah,
That's
the sound.
Right,
go on the Great Wheel.
There you go.
Next to the sound.
Anyway, I'm just a believer in the Cardinals today.
I want to believe.
Yeah, no, you don't, Johnny. You're a fraud. Yeah, let's go Cardinals. And like I said, after the game, please join us for the PHNX Cardinals show. My man right here will be the host. We'll have Frank back in the saddle. Cheerston is out this weekend, but we look forward to her coming back this next
Kermit
week.
meme.
And until then, we will see you next time.
Goodbye.
Thanks for joining us.